So as you can see by the title of this live stream, One Day Till Waski is going to be interviewing me about my sketching. So I'm coming up with a cunning plan, and I think it will be a good one to discuss the things that Waski wants to discuss in kind of a fun way. But as with any conversation, any interview, it could derail in a minute, and I could go on and on and on about how I'm the worst president that ever was, or the best president that ever was, and no one's treated me so badly, even though he was asked a question that had nothing to do with that. So who knows? Hopefully Waski and I won't talk over each other like people do these days when they're being interviewed. They don't wait for the question to be asked. They just start barking out their one or two sentences. They must put wax in their ears or something to not be able to pay attention to whatever is being asked. Anyway, yesterday, changing the subject, so come tune into Waski's channel tomorrow at 3:30, and you'll see me and Waski chatting. So yesterday I brought both of these pens to the local watering hole, and I doodled with them and wrote a name or two. And I was unhappy with how they were working. Well, this one had run out of ink, and I'll explain why in a second. This one, once upon a time, this pen had this Victorian dip nib in it, and I used it many times, and it was perfectly fine while it was in this pen. The nib stuck out really farther than this one is by a little tiny bit, and consequently I couldn't put the cap on because it would hit the top of the nib. So I just left it, at my desk, and I, knew not to screw the cap down. But I thought, this is a lovely pen. I want to carry it around with me and screw the cap down. So I yanked out that nib and put in a Waterman nib. And it was fine. It's fine. The problem is this nib doesn't like this new location. Now I may find a different location for this nib, and I probably will, but it wrote so well in this pen. And I might end up putting it back. If I can't find it, if this doesn't end up working somewhere else, I may just bring it. Let's just take this out and just see if I remember liking it in this pen. Maybe something happened to the nib where it ended up getting damaged somehow in my enthusiasm. Okay, it's barely being held in place in the pen. There's hardly any nib that's underneath, that's actually inside of the thing, but it is tight. Not quite. It's not quite tight. If you shove it in too far, you're going to cause trauma. Okay, does this fit? That fits in there. Let's just try this. This is why making these Franken pens is so difficult, because it's a lot of trial and error, and because of the way Franken pen nibs work, there's no perfect solution. Okay, so this is good. It stays put, and the fine is really, really fine. The tines are really tight together, and that's what we want. When I put this feed and this nib in this pen, thinking that this would be the new location for this pen, for this nib. Looks like it should work. But the fine isn't as fine as it was. So maybe I'll find a different feed or different barrel for this or something. I love this nib, and this is exactly the kind of pen I like to put these nibs into, an eyedrop fill with a slip cap. I probably have a slip cap or a cap that has the same pattern on it. This is, as you can see, cracked. But it shouldn't skip like that. I'm not using ink, I'm using watered down dirty water, and that is not the same as ink. But anyway, we'll keep working on that. Let's go back to this pen. I'm going to put this nib back, because I did like this. This is the nib. It's a Waterman pen nib from this era of Waterman, and I liked its tightness. It has a certain stand up and take notice of me kind of nib. I know my manners. I know my job, and there's something really nice about this nib. It probably would be just as nice in the original Waterman pen that it was in, but I kind of like it. I wanted to have this pen in service that I could draw and write with it, because it's kind of pretty pen. So this pen originally had a crappy steel nib in it. It's a pen pencil combo, but I really liked the plastic on it, and the pattern and the plastic, and I do like pen pencil combos sometimes. It's kind of nice to sort of sketch out lightly in pencil where I'm going with a drawing or a map I'm making or something, and then I'll go in and create the finished product in ink. But the problem with this pen is the rubber sack. It's not only the rubber sack, it's also the pressure bar. What else is wrong with this pen? Well, I'll show you. First of all, the contraption that makes the lead come out is like here. It goes all the way back to there. So you think that this is all going to be an ink sac. Well, it's not going to be an ink sac. It's all sorts of pencil debris back there. So that you take the section off, and you'll see it's itsy bitsy, tiny little rubber sac. Like, how much ink is that going to hold? You know, this might hold 2/3 of what a cartridge holds. but it doesn't hold very much ink. And the other bad part of this pen, let me just see if I can put a longer sack in this. Okay, the sack could be a little tiny bit longer, but that's not going to help with this pen because this has one of the laziest pressure bars in it. It's just a bar that looks like this. So when you press down on the lever, you're only squeezing some of the sack. You're not squeezing the whole sack. You're just squeezing this part back here isn't squoze. It doesn't get squozed. You just squeeze a little bit. So it's actually, it fills up. It takes in maybe 3 drops. So it's not a good system. Most pressure bars in fountain pens are more complicated. Is the J bar for lazy? Is the I bar? I don't know this is kind of called a J bar. And it there might be a way, maybe when you press it down, here's the cross section. When you press it down you pull the lever up that far and you're pressing the sack. Maybe if you pull the thing straight up and down, you're squeezing a little bit of it, but this part never gets squoze. This is always unsquished. It's still Friday night where you are. I don't know where the hell you are. Where is it still Friday on this planet? Hawaii? Is that where you are? Must be Hawaii. I can't imagine. Oh, Hawaii. Okay. So you are in Hawaii. So anyway, this sack could be a little bit longer, but it's not going to do any good. So, you know, if this was the only pen I had with me and I had to go take notes, what I would do is I would take the pen, I'd put it in ink, I'd squeeze the sack completely flat, let the ink in, and then I'd slide this back in to the pen. But right now it doesn't, the way this J bar works is doesn't fill very much. I'm going to try to find a different nib for this. I think this pen deserves sort of a fat nib to go along with its fat body. Okay, back to, oh, it's now Saturday early morning. Good. So I'm still looking for a nib, a place to put this nib, a pen to put that, in which to place that nib. This is a very weird pen. This, I'm sure, originally, I don't know what this originally had. Does it have threads in it? See if I hear any threads. there's something way in the back, but anyway, I bought it like this, and it has, this is not the right section, I'm sure. And I might find a section that fits that I can put a sack on, and I can fill it just the way I told you. You take this out, you squeeze it, you put it back in, and it's good to go. This is a pen that I bought at the Boston Pen Show in a baggie full of other pens. And this, if this was all by itself, I might have paid, this is a gold nib. I'm just going to pretend it doesn't have a nib and it's just the barrel. If this was made by Waterman and it looked like this, or Parker, or Wirt, or a good company, this would be thousands of dollars. But this is made by not a good company, and it's worth tens of dollars. And the fewer number of those tens, the better. I might pay $20 for it in order to use it as a placeholder for a dip nib. It'll work perfectly fine. It's a holder. So, but it's not all that great. I do have this one. Oh, what's that pen? I don't know what it is. It's an off-brand. This is an off-brand too. This doesn't have a name on it. It's, I believe it's sterling silver. I bought it as if it were, but it might be nickel silver or fine silver or something. I did I put this nib in it, or did it have this nib? I'm forgetting now. It may have had this nib, but I don't think so. I think I put this nib in it. This is a dip nib, eyedrop fill pen, and maybe this is all set to go. Maybe I can sell this to my visitor. He loves dip nibs, Franken pens, and this is sort of a Franken pen. He might like it. There's some ink here, blue ink. You might be. I don't know the history of the Wirt pen. I know it's spelled W-I-R-T, and of course, so maybe I'll offer this to Cesar. He might like it. Leave it out here. Here's another one of those off-brand pens. And I don't have a cap for it, but putting just a plain black slip cap on this would look lovely, especially when it's posted. When it's capped, it looks like the cap should have decoration on it, but when you put the cap on the back like this, it actually, sort of looks quite lovely, I think. So there were companies that sold the fancy overlay just on the barrel, and there was a couple that sold it just on the cap too, which seems really dumb to me. But so this is another. If this was Parker or Waterman, this would be $1,000. Because it's an off-brand, it's in the tens of dollars instead. Put her nib on it, of course, and it becomes more than tens of dollars. Let me just try this nib and this pen. Maybe this will work nicely. Come on, slide in. I want you to slide in. It's a little tight. It's not going to work. Does this feed work in this pen? No, that doesn't work at all. If I had a slightly smaller in diameter feed, this nib might work very well in this pen. So I'll leave that out. See if I can find something. Captions, just kidding again. Capless, just kidding. Okay. Would you like to join me? Do you have your pajamas on? You have your clothes on? You want to join me live? This is a really nice nib, and I've got the cap for this pen somewhere in this house. It fell down. It's this weird piston system that Wall Eversharp had for about a minute before they realized it was a stupid idea. It has a really nice nib. So maybe I'll put that, maybe that belongs in this pen. It's not doing any good in this pen, clearly. Going to where soon? Going to crash soon. Oh, you're still up. Is this gonna like this pen? It's very loose. This is very loose too. Surprised it worked at all. I must have. Why is it? God, I shoved it really far in, didn't I? This nib is shoved in a lot farther. It's not harming the nib. It's just it has to be put in really far to have it be tight against the thing. Oh, no King's March. Yeah, I should go to that too, but I've got too much work to do here. Too much to do here. Ford's Deluxe. I wonder if that tip nib would fit in here. Good. No, not good. Not good. Try this feed. What happens is the tines spread. It doesn't fit at all. You don't want the tines to spread, or it's not going to get any ink anywhere near the paper. No. This fits, this works very well right now. So I'm going to leave it right there. What is this doing here? There's the cap. I can fix this, can't I? Oh, I know why. I know why it's in here. It has a big chip out of the cap there. That's why I didn't fix it. It's a relatively rare pen, believe it or not. You would not know that to look at this. Black and gray marble without the red. They often made them like this, where there's some red veining in here. This is just black and white. Well, it's hard to make jokes about serious things, and how Republicans are calling this a I Hate America march is just absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know where they come up with that lame brain idea, because it's clearly not why people are marching. This is a nice Waterman nib. I wonder if that'll fit in here. Okay, that's really, really far in, but I might prefer this to the one that it had. Yes, much nicer. The ready points were okay. They were just a little on the clumsy side, I guess I would call it. Is this the one I just took out? Probably. So good. Fix that one. Yeah. Jokes for survival and or coping, just coping, and there has to be some way of living, getting through the day by laughing at the situation you find yourself. Sometimes helps you get through the day. It doesn't change anything necessarily, but if it helps you not slit your wrists, I suppose that's a positive. So, President Trump decided that George Santos doesn't have to stay in prison anymore. I guess it's okay to lie and to commit whatever crime he committed I guess it's okay. It's just part of how to be perfectly good in the eyes of our felon president. Okay, this nib is, I'm going to offer this in trade for some repairs I'm doing to a man whose pens are in this box right there. He's a lefty, and that nib is really broad. 51 nib is really broad, and I think he can write nicely with it. I tend to like my 51 nibs to be really, really fine, and he would not like those. I'm getting hungry. That's what's happening to me right now. So I'm going to have some breakfast. Oh, Atomic is here. Good morning, Atomic. Are you carrying a poster today, Andrew? Poster made with a magic marker, a Sharpie. Waski, I'm going to be visiting on Waski's channel tomorrow. He posted something on his feed that was very funny. It was if this will fit on here. Doesn't fit all that well. Doesn't fit on here. Does fit here. So I think I'll keep it here, and does it really fit well here? This is another one of those crappy pens. It does not fit at all on that one, so it doesn't post. So it does fit here, so I've got, for the moment, and this works okay, even though this is smooth and this is chased. It's nice because it's smooth here, chased, smooth, so it's a nice balance. So that can go here. What else do I have in these drawers? This is a very worn out Parker VS. Oh, here's another one of these. Crappy nib. I have a client that I tried to fix her very bent nib, and it was impossible. This nib she might like. Esterbrook nibs were made in 4 or so different levels of quality. You had the 1000 series, which were pretty cheap, and then you had the 2000 series, which were better, and then they made an 8 and a 9000 series, I think. Oh, so we can add it as the auto. He does like to drive, doesn't he, Waski? Does our Waski? Look at all these sterling pens. What's wrong with this one? Nothing. I think the cap is a nickel cap that was added, replacing the sterling one. This seems to work. My friend from California that's coming out here wants to buy one of these, and maybe this is the one that he'll buy. I don't think it bothers him that the cap, the clip is replaced. So I'll leave that there. What's wrong with this one? Okay, this one, it can work. The lever is just a little bit off center, but it works. It's functional. What you have to do to make this actually work is you heat the metal up, and it expands just a little bit, and then you try to turn it on the barrel. So maybe I can try to fix this, but this is a lovely pen. And again, it does function. It'll fit. It's just a little bit off kilter. Here's one that's very off kilter. You can see how the lever is actually underneath the metal, so it can't come up. You also see that someone, I bet this is what happened. Maybe someone tried to rub this name off and stuck it in a clamp, a vise, because there's a crack here, and underneath this is very misshapen, so the hard rubber is cracked. So that's probably never gonna change. The lever itself, if the leather is sterling, this lever is valuable for someone. It's just too bad that the pen has to be destroyed to get the lever. Oh, here's another dip pen holder. And a very nice one. Maybe this pen can go on that. I'm my best customer. I keep on finding things I want to keep. Actually, this thing was in these were all things that were in a keeper drawer for me to try to fix. So it's not like for myself. So it's not like I'm I didn't know these things existed. I did know they existed. This nib is troublesome. It just doesn't. I'm going to put it back where it was because it did seem to work in here. So that's together. This I will use for something else. Put that up here. Okay, this is missing a lever and a clip. As a sack, though, it has a pressure bar, I think. Maybe not. Nice nib. RJW. Missing a, well, here the lever is way under here, so this whole thing has to be rotated, and it's still missing a clip. And this guy had a really good set of teeth. He just chomped on the back of this. So I'm just going to put these back. These two I might offer. I love these little pens. These little short Wall Eversharps. I should be able to fix this for myself. I probably have one already. If I already have one exactly like this, I might offer this for sale. They're just they're short. They mean business. They are nothing escapes this pen. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly when they want to do it. This one is similar, except this one has a crack in it. Crack in the cap somewhere, or threads, or I don't remember where the crack was, but there's a crack. Let's see if I can, if I have a duplicate of this, maybe my Californian friends will like that. Look at this little pen. This is a Wall Zero. My friend Trister was gifted one of those by a friend in California, and promptly, or at some point, he broke the feed and wanted me to fix it. I didn't. Why don't you, if you can, send me in an email that thing to remind me. Tina, my cat, is asking me to watch her eat and reminding me that I have to eat as well. So I'm going to go do that. So we'll see you all later. Have a nice March today, people. Bye.